By now, you're probably cursing my name for having you do all this reading, because now we're into the book of Numbers, and Leviticus is a slog. I know it is. And hopefully, maybe you're a little bit behind, but you're trying to stick it out, and I appreciate the effort. When we get into the book of Numbers, the first four chapters of the book of Numbers are a lot of numbers. And once we get through that, we start to get into a lot of narrative in Numbers. As the people of Israel are getting closer to the Promised Land, there's some battles, there's interactions with the Canaanites and the Midianites and Ammonites and Moabites and a bunch of other ites. But as you're reading through the book of Numbers, this is a little bit different from Leviticus. Now, I will pause and just say that Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers are really meant to be read as one big book. We divide them up into three books for the purpose of scrolls. A scroll could only be so long, and these are pretty lengthy texts. So they're really meant to be one book, kind of the chronicle of the people of Israel from the time of Egypt all the way up to the Promised Land. And then Genesis is kind of its own thing. It's an origin. Deuteronomy is kind of a repeat of everything that we've read in Genesis through Numbers. But in the book of Numbers, one of the things that we encounter often, rather than the priests, which is what we see mostly with Leviticus, in Numbers we have the people. And we have kind of this narrative of the people struggling with what it means to follow God. And you'll notice that their holiness, the code that they're being held to, is a little bit different from the priests. It's not quite as demanding, and yet the consequences of rebellion are pretty extreme. So as you read Numbers, remember to read it as a journey. Where are the people of Israel headed? They're headed to the Promised Land, but also they are being refined as a people of God, as a people of the covenant, through the process of failure and restoration. And this theme is important in the Hebrew Scriptures. It is not that we are perfect out of the gate, but rather that as we fail, God corrects us, and then God sets us back on the path and encourages us to grow and mature.